In the 28th century, Earth's International Space Station begins to cooperate with alien peoples. Each side carries its own touch, placed close to the Earth. Gradually, it evolved into a multicultural city called Alpha, home to millions of species from various planets. It became so large that it was relocated into deep space. Help it reach more people and keep growing. To maintain peace in such a huge population, a police department was established by the Union of Humanity. 405 after Alpha is relocated. The planet wants to live in peace without contact with other races. Pearl fishing contains a huge amount of energy and uses a special animal called an energy metabolizing creature to replicate them. Up to a day, debris began to fall from the sky, including small ships and a giant spaceship that causes an explosion that destroys every living thing on the planet. The chieftains and large numbers of the population managed to hide in the spaceship, but when they closed the door and accidentally broke the lock, they left Princess Mina outside while the planet was dying. Before the explosion occurred, she unleashes her soul in a wave of energy, hoping to relay the message. This wave flew to Colonel Valeria of the League. He was taking a nap on a beach in his ship. He and his comrade, Corporal Lau de Leon, the person he wants to have a relationship with, but she constantly refuses because she considers him polyamorous. He asked Alex's AI to scan his brain, and she confirmed that he had received external waves, be it from the present or the past, or from anywhere in the universe. The couple travels to another planet, where they receive a message from the defense minister asking them to save humanity's last energy-transforming creature, and take it to Alpha on a secret mission. When they land and change into tourist attire, they meet the people who live here, people who will assist them in this task. Valerian will infiltrate a virtual marketplace and meet Lori at a rendezvous point to make the transfer. But before starting, Valeria asks La Whirlwind to marry him as proof of affection. Long didn't take his proposal seriously and kicked him out without answering, leave only a kiss on the cheek. When inside, he broke the rules and entered an area where humans were not allowed. Meet someone who gives him glasses in place of a helmet. Help him enter another dimension, plus a gun, a cube to scan his body and make him invisible without being detected. Valerian enters a dark shop where Igon is trying to sell the energy metabolizing creature to two aliens, looking like the species in his dreams in exchange for special pearls. Igon was greedy and demanded more, and because no deal was reached, everyone pulled out their guns, including Valerian, revealing his presence behind the Igon. Meanwhile, the Mop and her team drive to the back of the enclosure wall and shoot down the guard with a special gun, allowing them to control his every move. They then cut a hole in the wall so that they could pass through and meet Valerian at the rendezvous with a special box that she activated next to him. Make it appear in another dimension. When Igon puts the energy metabolizing creature into the lake, after a long time, he turned it off and brought it back to the truck. But Valerian stayed a little longer to get the special pearl. He tried to leave quietly, but his hand attracts the attention of the alien descendants and is attacked by it. As a result, people started selling each other. But the box was broken and he couldn't leave that dimension. A guard found him and chased after him. Shooting out a series of magnetic metal balls clinging to his box caused him to fall into a hole. He landed in a game bar, where he met a child with a toy gun. Valerian took advantage of this opportunity to give the goat child over the magnetic bridge. The child shoots at a nearby alien, and thanks to magnetism, all the other spheres follow the first. He ran away until they collided. The boxer was just in time before the guard and the dog found Valerian again. However, their troubles are not over. They have been spotted, and Igon is sending a larger creature to chase them. The couple rushed out when the alien allies shot at the creature to hold it back, until everyone gets back in the car. The monster easily catches up with them as they drive away and jump into the car. So fire at it, but not at it. Valerian decides to call the artificial intelligence Alex to ask for their ship to arrive, so he and Alau can escape and jump into the ship safely. The creature continued to chase. They jumped on the train, only to slide and fall as the ship accelerates to leave space, while Lauren puts the energy metabolizing organism into the processing chamber. Valeria asks Alex to analyze the pearl and discover that it contains a huge amount of energy. When looking up planets in the system, access is restricted and restricted. After rushing up, he refused his proposal. They came to Alpha, where they're given VIP access thanks to the energy metabolizing creature they carry. They met with the general, who informed them of a radioactive area discovered in the middle of the market. They sent more special forces there, but none returned alive. The area was polluted and expanding, so they needed to solve the problem before it destroyed the entire station. Then Commander Philip came to his soldiers, whom he would bring with him to the meeting with the Security Council. As a call from the Secretary of Defense, he had to take Valerian and Clean as a bodyguard instead. Before going to the meeting, Philip visits a prisoner, as an alien from the planet One, being tortured for information. They haven't collected anything yet, so Philip orders his soldiers to kill him if he doesn't provide information for an hour. LOL brought the energy transformation creature, because Philip wanted to keep it as a bargaining chip, but she refused to give it to him to keep it safe for her. Valerian entered the room with Phillips while he reported to the council on the pollution problem, and wait outside to guard the door. Suddenly, 3 tiny aliens, it's called Measuring, Gondaria, approach her and offer their services. Questions about the planet Muon, and they classify it as a sensitive topic. They announce that mercenaries will try to steal the energy transforming creature. At that moment, the alarm sounded. The attackers were walking through the walls and could not see them, as officers in the command room tried to evacuate. But the walls suddenly exploded, A group of aliens from the planet want to storm the room, shoot people with a slime that covers them with a layer of cocoon. Valeria notices this and puts something in her mouth before being restrained. The aliens leave the room after a few minutes, carry a cocoon with Philip inside. When they leave, a Valerian spider robot cuts open the cocoon and allows him to escape. He rescues and gives her his delivery to save the others, while Valerian pursues the aliens. The power supply returns to the command room and wipes the location of the captors on the screen. Tell the direction to Valeria through the communication device. The only way to get close to them is through the wall. So Valerian uses her suit to pierce through and run through dozens of different environmental areas until he is picked up by Alex on their boat. The aliens have also boarded the ship, a high-speed train, and the Valerian opened fire on them. But the enemy ships simply split into hundreds of smaller ships. Valerian tracked the ship they thought Phillips was in, but his ship was too big to keep up through the narrow roads. So he switched to another smaller boat. Shoot hooks to cling to enemy ships, tracking its movements. Unfortunate, this caused him to lose control and be dragged into the production area, and he always lost contact with him completely. She wanted to go and save him, but General 3 forbade him to enter and ordered his soldiers to keep her. On the way out of the command room, it was pretending to help the guards. As they approach, she attacks and beats them until she loses consciousness. Later, she meets those aliens Galdar GHI and asks them to take her to Valerian's place. The four want to see their father together. He will take them to fish for a very special creature, a cortical medusa. Get on your dad's submarine. The submarine took her deep underwater in search of the next Romos. Giant creatures carry Medusa on their backs. Bud uses the submarine's special landmark to get Medusa from it. This causes the creature to go berserk. The next three Romos began to chase them, but fortunately, the submarines were fast enough for them to escape them as they moved through a small tunnel. When returning to the ground, the Galdar notes that she has to put the Medusa on her head and let it show her what she is looking for. But don't do this for more than a minute, or it will consume her memory. Follow the instructions and push your limits. Hold the Medusa above her head for 1 minute and 10 seconds until she sees the Valerian's position, which the banks have confirmed is the level of 630 VND. After leaving to rescue his friend, the Big Fish went to General 3 to sell information about the alien prisoner that Philip had kept secret. General 3 immediately arrests all the soldiers involved and tries to help the aliens. But the person blew up his own body to send a message of life, as the princess did. We let the third general know that they are attacking because the coalition has what they need. The sergeant should go out and test the DNA of the aliens through the database. And it turns out that this species is not in it. It means that they never existed or someone deleted them from the record. Reach level 630 East after carefully passing through a rocky area, and found Valerian unconscious on the ground. She woke him up with a special medicine, and after an argument, she entertains by watching the butterflies, while the Valerian repaired his ship. She didn't know that not all butterflies were like that, and when she touches one, she is hit by the green inhabitant of planet Goroth 3 and put in their restricted area. Valerian deliberately touched a butterfly to be taken along, but he shot his captors and hid behind a wall. Now Valeria is out of the above area. The Union can keep an eye on him. The guards were instructed not to harm him, so he easily threatened an officer to grab an invisible gun and knock him out before going inside. Valerian goes to a club and asks Jolie, the club manager, to post a type of alien that can transform into any shape. Jolie takes Valeria to meet Apple. A post-color gamut performs while constantly changing shapes. After catching you to complete the performance, Valerian pulled out a gun and knocked Jolie unconscious and made a deal with him that if she would help him find him for a long time, he will help her get a legal license and be free from the club. The North agrees and takes them out of there by hiding the Valerian in his body and transforming into a Jolie. This is the same trick they used to enter the area where the mausoleum is being held. Meanwhile, it is an unsuccessful attempt to communicate with her captors. She was put into the ranks of service, the people who brought food to the Emperor. The Emperor did not like any of the dishes that were served, including the dish of Valerian. Loris's dish was just a lemon, but the Emperor squeezed it on her head before taking out a special tool to start her. Valerian wasted no time and beat a guard with his tray to steal weapons and fight the rest. He even jumped on the Emperor to scare him. When free, he also stole a sword for a long time, and along with the compulsion, they helped the Valerian fight the guards. Valerian decided to make a quick plan. He wiped Jolene with his fist and pretended to attack. But in fact, they fell into a sewer pit with you and into a new area. Return to the command room. General 3 chats with the defense minister and asks for access to the classification file of the absurd. After a moment's hesitation, he received access. Records of the planet Muon state that it was destroyed by accident during a war, and the planet has never been inhabited. This is really strange. The other thing that is starting to annoy Champion 3 is the constant presence of the trees. Those who have been programmed by Philip, and only he could order them to leave. Valerian and falls into a giant trash can and discovers that Uncle Pooh has been injured. Her last words to Valerian were to ask him to take good care of Lorena before she turned into dust. The couple began to wander. Valeria admitted that the princess's soul had been in him and guided him all along. They end up in the manufacturing area, but nothing happened to them. Valeria thinks the danger of pollution is a lie. Does Philip really know what's really hiding behind the glowing wall in front of him? They met the moon people, those who have been waiting for them. They meet with leaders, those who went on to tell them what happened on that terrible day. Many 5 before after the big explosion, They drifted in space. Many 5 rescued what they could find in the ship they escaped and learned all the scientific research in the database to recover it. One day, they're saved by scrap dealers and eventually sell their ships to the Alpha Station. And they hid here to learn more knowledge and build a new ship to be able to rebuild their homeland on a new planet. The only things they're missing are an adapter and a jewel. That's why they hired an ex-Gold to steal them, so that Philippe could not find them. Unfortunately, Valerian and Lori ruined that plan. Aliens believe that they will do the right thing and wake up irrationally. The person who immediately demanded Valerian and wiped Jolene was arrested. Others say they are lying and that the planet was uninhabited when they fought in that area. However, they don't believe it. In fact, they guess what really happened. Phillips was the commander that day and decided to launch the rocket without caring about the presence of people on the planet. After that, Philip just needs to delete all the evidence. Therefore, he destroyed the evidence and defended the contaminated area. When he wanted to be present in the Alpha, Phillips explained that he was doing so to prevent the Earthlings from losing their prestige and influence in the Alpha, before ordering Valerian's arrest. Valerian did not listen and instead punched him before giving the jewel to the aliens. She wanted to give the adapter, but Valerian objected, only to change her mind when she said that this was the reason she didn't want to marry him. Long finally kissed Valerian, and then those who want to let the student learn into the converter, generate the energy needed to activate their new ship, recreate their old planet. When the quest is over and the princess soul is left from the Valerian's body, the moon leaders communicate peacefully with the soldiers outside. General 3 witnessed this and added to his belief in the truth when Valerian and Raylan called him and told him the whole story. But to cancel the process, he still needs confirmation from the absurd. The couple pulled him in and tried to get him to speak, but he only ordered the destruction of the trees to immediately obey the order. They began to kill both the people in the wall and the people in the command room. Van ordered the family to stop the countdown while rushing to punch Phillips and Valerian over the wall to shoot the round trees. It is recommended to sneak out, open the control panel, and work directly with the source. Stop the bombs in time before they explode on the buyer, leaving the Alpha in their new ship. Some of the surviving soldiers found Philip hanging from the ceiling from the hole left by the Muon. Valerian and Loreline also escaped on the service ship that the moon had reached Alpha. While waiting for rescue, Valeria proposed again for a long time, and this time she replied before kissing him. The movie ends here. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest videos.